Now let me get one thing across. This is all opinion based, and this is all going to be based on my opinion and mine alone. And for this review, we're going to review Thor. Now, I know it's a bit late to review these films, but I didn't really have the idea on me at the time, but now I've manned up and I'm going to start doing it this way. So, off we go. Now this one, Thor, is actually going to be a bit of a hard one for me because, well, I understand that a lot of people have actually really liked this film, and they apparently have really good reasons for it, but I really don't like the film. And I'm pretty sure my reasons alone aren't going to be good enough to compare with other people's reasons for liking the film. But, hear me out. Now, one of the things, let me say the things I really liked about the Thor. I really liked, I kind of liked Chris Hemsworth's performance as Thor. He definitely seemed to have, like, the power in him. Like, you look at him and then you say, yeah, he's a god, But then again, I think he only did well because of his arrogance part. Like, really? He's a god? He's still he's a bit of a god. Let me start over. He's definitely a god of thunder, and you can definitely see him with his arrogance, and with his arrogance he can definitely show like a sign of power, and he definitely displays that and he's not afraid to show it. He's just so confident. And that's what I really thought was good about his arrogance part. But then again, there's things I really didn't like about the character. And I've always found this a bit funny, actually. I mean, it's Marvel Comics, and I respect Marvel Comics. I love their stuff. But how do you make a superhero out of a god? I mean, really? A god? I mean, that's... Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see like I'm definitely gonna see like difficulties in him being like defeated or anything, unless there was another god, which there is. But we'll get to that in a minute. The other thing I really liked about the film was Anthony Hopkins. Like, yeah, it's Anthony Hopkins. Like, what can you go wrong with that? I mean, I mean, Oscar winner or not, he's still a good. Oscar winner or not, they're still good actors, but we all have to admit they do like to choose some good or bad films. Hopkins was like one of the only reasons I thought the film was. He was one of the only reasons I went to see the film, to see how good he could do in a comic book film. Because, well, imagine what it would look like if Hannibal Lecter turned up and dressed up in gold armor like that. I mean, that's reason enough for me to watch it. The rest of the stuff, though, I kind of disliked. Main reason is because it's a fish out of the water story, and I hate that really much. I mean, we've seen that plot line so many times, and they can be done pretty well. Not this one, in my opinion, but apparently in other people's opinion, yeah. And that was why I was really afraid to do this. So yeah, that was one of the big reasons I didn't like the film. It's a fish out of the water story, and I hate that. I mean, I really, really hate that plotline. That was one of the things that really killed the film for me. The second thing I really don't like about the film is because of its way of comedy, and I have to admit it does get a laugh out of you at points. But I don't really feel like I should be laughing at a film about a god who just had his power taken from him and everything from him. And then there's like this, and then I find it stupid. Like, really? Is this supposed to be funny? I mean, they display it as like a bit of a trap. They just display it as a way of like making him learn, and as an excuse to make things funny. Me, I don't think it should be played that way. I think it should be played in the way of making it more tragic. And I guess the part where he's supposed to learn his lesson is supposed to be the tragic part. It's supposed to be the tragic part. Problem was, when he finds out his lesson, he doesn't seem tragic. He just like, I've just been a bad boy. I've learned my lesson. I'll do it. I'll start over. You don't do that! I suppose he's supposed to get emotional. Yeah, all he did was scream at the sky, for God's sakes. And he's like, you took my power! Man, you need to really think about what just happened. And then there was like the villain, and people just said, oh yeah, let me get back on track. Yeah, like the part with the comedy. People I know, they actually prefer it if like stuff like I just said earlier was more based on comedy. Not in my opinion. Especially when it's about a plotline who just had his power, about a god who just had his power stripped from him because of his arrogance. Sounds like something that should be tragic, but for some reason they decided to go with a route of comedy. No, I don't like it that way. No, I mean it's silly. It just looks like it's as if like to me it acts like. To me, it feels like I'm watching a film that's pretty much Orson Welles, as if he was just putting a thong in it. I mean, it just seems sad. I mean, wow. Everything was just taken from him. And, yeah, the film didn't display it in the comedic level. I think it should have been more of the tragic level, honestly. The other thing I really didn't like was the villain. Now, they definitely have like a slimy guy playing as the villain, but you could tell just the minute that he stepped onto the screen. I mean, they didn't even try. I mean, yeah, comic book fans would probably say that about the comics. What about people who didn't read the comics, for instance? I mean, I think it's better if you actually put a little sense of suspense in the film. When you put a man in a big emerald green cloak with a helmet that has horns growing out of it, and he's possibly the only British guy that doesn't seem over the top in the film. Actually, I forget I said the over the top part. Yeah, you're not trying, guys. I mean, it's plain and simple right there. He's villain. You see green on anyone like that, and he's British, and he's got black hair, he's skinny, and he's very posh voice like this, and he's like, father. No! I don't believe you! You're being completely lazy. And at least try it for like try it for newcomers, people who haven't read the comics. I haven't read the comics either, but Wikipedia gets you to places though, doesn't it, these days? But possibly the funniest thing that I like to make fun of is something my dad pointed out. And this is like the part when he has his powers, if he's a god of like thunder and weather, I think, and he's like in the fight scenes, he's pretty much pissing around most of the time, isn't he? I mean, I guess that's for the arrogance part, but then again, there's the part when he's not being arrogant. He's still fighting with his hammer thing, like a conventional weapon. Dude, you're a freaking god who can call down like a maelstrom or a hurricane or something. Why are you hitting somebody with a hammer? You can do more than that, you jackass. I mean, seriously. Serious plot point, though. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be doing a good job at what I'm trying to do. So yeah, bit of a stupid plot point, and big thing to point out. And of course, since it's a Marvel film, they had to put like put a scene at the end of the credits for a bit of sequel baiting for something. And from what I've heard, there's going to be a film about the Avengers next year, and most of everyone is going to be in it, I think. And of course, this is the only part in the film where Samuel L. Jackson is in the film. And that's another reason why I went to see